So good afternoon, everyone. If I could get your attention. So welcome, everyone. And we're all here for one reason, and that's to celebrate someone in our community. I'm just waiting for, obviously, our special guest, Sam. I'd like to thank everyone for making the effort to come out and just appreciate Sam for this afternoon. So I'm just going to start today's program. First of all, I'm going to ask everyone could put their phones on silent or turn them off. And we're going to invite the two mubeds to say a Tandarosi prayer before the beginning of the program. And for those who don't know me, my name is Mitra Jam. And thank you, everyone, for being here this afternoon.
Thank you, Mitra. I appreciate it. Hi, everybody. We are only here just to bless Sam. So we are going to recite Mehbad, Dastur Mehbad, and myself, we are going to recite Tandarosi for his long life and happiness. And Mehbad Dastur is going to then explain you all the meaning of Tandarosi, what Tandarosi really actually means, so that you will understand what is Tandarosi is all about.
Thank you, Arwad Sahib Jalanka. We are going to say the prayers, Tandarosi. If you would like to stand, that's completely your choice. Thank you.
Banao mein yazad, banao mein yazad, baksha yande, baksha yazgare meherban, yatha huwayo atharatush, ashachi thachao, wange ush lazda manengo, shaute nanam, ange ush mazdai, Shatrim cha auraya im dregobyo dadad vastarim yatha huwayo atharatush ashachi tachao vangehush dazdamaningo shautenanam Angehush mazdai, Kshatrem cha ahuraya, im dregobyo dadat vastarem, Tandarosi dijivasni, avayandai, kore anga shaidar, Yazdan minoan, Yazdan getian, Haftamesha spandan, Yazdaroshan hameberesaud, in doyabad, in kaabad, hameanda kasara, Zartushtidin shadbad, Edun bag, Yabari Khoda, Khoda Vande Alam Ra, Hame Anjuman Ra, Samasta Anjuman Ra, Bedin Sam Ra, Ba Farzandan, Hazar Sal, De bedar, shad bedar, Tandaros bedar, Edun bedar, Barsare arzaniya, Salahe bishyar, Bakarnai bishumar, Baki vapayam dedar, Hazaran hazar afrin bad, Sal kozaste bad, Roz farok bad, Ma mubarak bad, Chandan sal, chandan roz, chandan ma, Bishar sal, Arzani dar, Yazashne, Vanyayashne, Varadi vazor varashne, Ashahidar, Abare Amakaro Kerfehal, Tandarosi bound, Neki bound, Hub bound, Edun bound, Edun Taras bound, Payasdan, Va Ameshas Pandan, Kame bound, Ashone Hashem Vahu, Vaistemasti, Ushta Hamai, Yadashai, Vahistai Hashem.
Thank you, everybody. Have a seat, please. And Mebad, Mobin Mebad is going to translate the meaning, explain you the meaning of Tandarosi. Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all for joining us over here. We are always very thankful and grateful for our president, Sam Uncle, Sam Vesuna, who served for many years for the Russian Society of Ontario. And praying the Tandarosi is always for good health for everyone, not only just for Sam Uncle, but for his whole family and everybody present over here. So this will just take a moment as I say the translation for the benefit of everyone who is present over here and for the family members to understand what the meaning of the Tandarosi prayer is. So as we started, Baname Ezadeh, that's how it begins. In the name of God, the benevolent, the merciful, the loving, just as a king acts according to his will, does the righteous leader by means of righteousness. The gift of good mind is for those who work for Ahura Mazda in this world. The sovereign rule of Ahura Mazda is for those who help the needy. May you have good health with good income, abundant income, long life. May you have pleasant happiness. Many children of children, all difficulties removed. In order to live a long life, health of the body is necessary. May the glory remain permanent in association with righteousness. May all these heavenly Yazitas, the angels, and the Yazitas of this world, and the 7 Ameshaspands, the holy immortals, come to this excellent votive offering. May this benediction of our mind be approved. May this wish of mine be fulfilled. May the religion of Zarathustra be pleased amongst all men. May it be so. O God, the Creator, may you keep the ruler, the Hama Anjuman, the whole community, the whole Anjuman present, as we say the names of the family members, as we said the name of Sam Uncle. Over the leadership of the good and worthy men, may you keep a permanent rule for many years and for boundless period. May there be 1,000 blessings. May the year be auspicious. May the day be fortunate. And may the month be auspicious. May you keep us worthy in performing the worship and invocation and charity and in offering libations for several years, several days, and several months, for many years. May you keep righteousness over all actions and meritorious deeds. May there be health unto us. May there be goodness unto us. May there be excellence unto us. May it be so. May it be more so. May our wish in accordance with the wishes of the Yazitas, the angels, and the Ameshaspan. In the name of righteousness, righteousness is the best good, and it is happiness. Happiness is to him who is righteous for the sake of best righteousness. Thank you very much. Tandarosi. Tandarosi Samanka. Thank you. Amen.
Hello, everyone. Sorry, we were going to start by saying ladies and gentlemen, but we have to be inclusive, so that's why we started with hello, everyone. So, as part of course, this is a very special occasion. It's long overdue, recognizing Sam for everything that he's done for the community. So I kind of reached out. I went to ChatGPT. I'm sure everyone has actually heard of ChatGPT. And I asked ChatGPT if it can write a poem for Sam. So this is a poem for Sam written by ChatGPT. Sam Vesuna, a faithful follower of Asha's path, embracing good thoughts, good words, and good deeds he hath. For 60 years, he served the Zoroastrian society, spreading happiness, promoting charity with great piety. Respecting the spiritual equality of men and women, he upheld Zoroastrianism's core values with precision. Nature and its elements he venerated and protected, for he knows in Mazdaism, ecology is deeply connected. The Avesta calls for preservation of water, earth, fire, and air, and Sam has lived by it, and with unwavering care. For he knows that Yazda's, the divine spirits, demand it, and he's done his part to follow the holy writ. Though early Zoroastrians had a duty to exterminate evil species, modern Zoroastrianism has done away with such malices. Sam has embraced this evolved doctrine with all his might and spread the word of love and compassion shining bright. Sam Vesuna, a true ambassador of Zoroastrianism, a living embodiment of its teachings with unwavering enthusiasm, we honor you tonight for all you've done, for the community, for nature, for everyone.
Good evening, everyone. It is with great pleasure that I stand before you today to express my gratitude and appreciation for someone who has been a mentor and a role model for community work. Sam Vesuna, or fondly known to many of us as Sam Uncle, has been a true inspiration to me and to countless others in our community and around this room. His tireless efforts to make a positive difference in the lives of others has left an indelible mark on our hearts and minds. From his work with local charities and not-for-profit organizations to his commitment to grassroots community initiatives, Sam Uncle has shown time and time again that he is a force for good in the world. His selfless dedication to helping others is something that I strive to emulate every day. And I am so grateful for the guidance and support he has provided me over the years. Me standing here is an example. 23 years ago, he opened his arms and his house to me and my family. We did not know him. It's a short story, wasn't part of my speech, but many of my friends over here said I should share this. And I get very emotional as I share it. We only knew a gentleman who came to Iran for the World Congress in the 90s. And through the Congress, I don't recall exactly what happened, but he needed some help from us, and my mom helped him with whatever that situation was. All he told us is, if you ever visit Canada, do let me know, I'm here to help you. Little you know, we decided to come to Canada, and we just reached out to him, sent an email, and he said, just tell me what day you're coming and I'll be at the airport to receive you. A stay at his home that was supposed to be for a week was 3 months long. He was our guarantor for us to get our first home. He was a grandfather to us, three, something very small. He's the one who taught us how to recycle, how to separate blue from green and black. So you hold a very special place in our hearts, Sam Uncle. You're truly, truly someone special to us. So 23 years ago, he opened his arms to keep me and my family with him and guide us through the right path to survive our initial years as immigrants. His willfulness to help is part of mine and my family's success in Canada. Sam Uncle's passion for community work is infectious, and his leadership has been instrumental in bringing people together to work towards a common goal. In recognition of Sam Uncle's outstanding contributions to our community, I'd like to express my heartfelt appreciation and gratitude to this mentor and role model for community work. You have truly made a difference in the lives of so many, and your impact will be felt for generations to come. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts for all that you have done and continue to do. Your dedication, passion, time, resiliency, and commitment to making the world and our community a better place is an inspiration to us all. Thank you. And I will not forget, the first person I was introduced to when I came to Canada by Sam Uncle was Aflatoon. Hence, the two of us have partnered today.
So Sam has been a founder and devoted member of the Zoroastrian Society of Ontario, and dedicating his time, energy, resources to better the lives of those around him. His tireless efforts has brought about positive changes in countless lives, and his selflessness, generosity has earned him respect and admiration of all who know him. He has been instrumental to helping our family as well, right, move and settle in Canada, and we are as well forever grateful. Sam has been a living embodiment of the Zoroastrians' teachings, which emphasizes the importance and following the path of Asha, promoting happiness, respecting the spiritual equality. His commitment to these values has made him a pillar of our community. And his dedication and preservation of the family, friends, has earned him the distinction of being the champion within our community. But more than that, Sam has been a friend, a mentor, for me as well as a lot of people around him. He has been a source of inspiration and hope, showing us all that through hard work, determination, and with a heart full of love, we can make a real difference to the world around us. So tonight, we honor Sam for his years of dedication to the community. And let us take a moment to reflect on the impact that he's done for our lives. So I'd like to thank him personally, and I stand here to recognize for endless hours that you spent helping this community be what it is today, and we very much appreciate everything you've done. So thank you, Sam.
Good grief, I feel so short behind this podium. So, as you know, we're gathered here today. It was a board decision a couple of months ago to appreciate and put time aside for a respected individual in our community, being Sam Vesuna. So that's why we've all gathered here today. And I'd like to really thank the family for coming out and supporting your grandfather, your father, your great-grandfather. Is it your great-grandfather? Yeah? Welcome. Thank you for coming out this afternoon. So I just want to share my personal experience with Sam. He has provided me personally with a lot of wisdom, and his enthusiasm to support our community to my best of my abilities. And I'm really grateful for all your wise words, your support. Whenever I need a question answered, you're only a phone call away from me, and you're always there to answer any queries I have. Thank you. So my personal experience of my first encounter with Sam was 30 years ago when I was introduced to him by my father-in-law, the late Jamshid Jam. And I was introduced to him as, "This is my daughter-in-law," and his first words to me were, "I hope I get to see you volunteering in our members soon." I said, okay. I said it with a giggle. And look where I am now. I'm here representing the community and being grateful that he showed that support of me back then. I know every one of you has a story to share, and my apologies, due to time, we don't have the time for everyone to share their stories up on their stage, but I really encourage you to go up to Sam afterwards and share your thoughts, your memories, how he's supported you, how he's affected your lives. I know he's going to appreciate these beautiful words coming from everyone today. And again, the irony of our two MCs today, Sam Vesuna helped their families, supported their families, and he supported us all as a community here. So I just want to end off today. I want to introduce Kati Betinon on behalf of the Cultural Kanun. We'd like to actually give a gift for you, Sam, today. If you'd like to come up here, receive it from Kati and myself. It's just a small gift. Oh, you know what, Sam? It's easier if we come to you. Let's come to you. So, Sam, you just want to share this small gift. I hope you enjoy it. It's on behalf of the Zoroastrian Society of Ontario and Conan. It's a Persian gift. I hope you get to enjoy it. I know your walls are empty. You still have a frames up. So this will be the first picture frame you could put up in your apartment. Oh, Kati. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam, for everything you've done for our community and everything you're going to do for our community. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So this gives you the opportunity to invite Jamshid Vesuna, Sam Vesuna's eldest son, to share a few words as well for us today. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. You know, I mentioned this evening to someone a few weeks ago, and they don't know my father. And the gentleman said, "Why?" And so I very briefly explained my dad's involvement in the Zoroastrian community, and he said, "Oh, so it's deserved. I mean, it's legitimate." And I said, "Yes, it is." Now, Dad didn't ask for this, but I think it's well deserved. I'm going to draw your attention away from, just briefly, from Dad's contributions, involvement in the ZSO and Zoroastrian community at large, to his involvement in organizations outside of Zoroastrian circles. Now, there are many, but I'm going to mention two, and I hope my reason becomes evident. One is the Toronto Area Interfaith Council, and the other is the Canadian Multi-Faith Federation. Dad's involvement in these organizations has been extensive and continues to this day. You might ask, how is this germane to an evening that is celebrating his contributions to the Zoroastrian community, to the ZSO, and to the larger Zoroastrian community worldwide? Let me put it this way. How if my dad's openness to engage with multi-faith, with people, communities of different faith traditions, is in fact an example of his fidelity to his Zoroastrian faith? How if his openness, his willingness to share the richness of his cultural and religious heritage with others, and likewise receive what wisdom they might have to offer, is his actively participating in the good mind, something which Zarathustra has enjoined all humankind to participate in actively. So I would say that in addition to all the other things we might talk about today, we see my dad's expansive attitude as an essential part of his gift and his legacy to this community. So thank you, Dad.
So now we're going to give you a quick video. It's in 3 segments. So the first segment.
Hi, Sam. This is Beros and Adianeri. Sincere congratulations to you on another milestone achieved. A recognition of your years of dedicated service to the ZSO. Over the years, you have inspired us all and set an example that volunteer work for the betterment of the community benefits us all. The ZSO works on that principle, and it has been quite successful. We are grateful for your leadership and appreciate your willingness to give your time and service to the ZSO over the years. This is your special day, so enjoy it with your family and friends. We wish you a long and happy life full of good memories. Thank you.
Hello, this is my apartment which I moved in when I lost my driving license because of a stroke, and I have got to love this place now because it is next to our Darbeme. I've just to cross the road. These are a few pictures. This is my mother when she was young, and her name was Daulat. And there's another one here of my father and my eldest son Jamshid, and my favorite dog Susie. And then this is my 3 grandchildren. The eldest one is Cyrus, and then there is Safina, and there is Alex. And this is at the wedding of my second son in Toronto with his wife and my eldest granddaughter. And it's very important that I have a granddaughter because I never had a sister and I never had a daughter. These are my grandchildren. That's my eldest son Jamshid's children. Gabriel, who's at university in Hamilton, McMaster. He wants to be a doctor. And my youngest grandchild or granddaughter, Delia, she is still 7 years old. And that is my second son Zal's children. And that is Safina. She is now graduated and works for the Ministry of Indigenous Affairs in Ottawa. They are in Ottawa, and James Jamshed is in his fourth year at Carleton University in Ottawa. And then this is from my youngest son, and who got married before the other two. That's his daughter, Rochella, and his two sons, Cyrus and Alex. And Rochella's children, I have two great-grandchildren, are Vanessa and Joshua. I'll introduce myself by saying I was made in Iran and born in India. My mother was expecting me, she was pregnant, but she decided to go to India to give birth to me because my elder brother was born in Iran, and she had to go on a mule, and a Muslim guy came, she had to get off, you know. So that's my introduction. But I lived my earlier life in India, partly in what is now India and partly which is now Pakistan. That is Pune and Karachi, okay. My grandparents from my mother's side are in Pune, and my father's side were in Bombay. My grandfather is well known. They have even a road named after him, and my grandmother, Adesh Irani Road and Mahpuri's Irani Road, because he was the only Iranian Zartusti who built a bagh. And then he built a stadium in the Wadia College, and then he built a gymnasium in the Parsi school, and then my father's side was from Bombay. They are the Parsi side of my family. And he was a doctor, and he was appointed as the medical officer of the Tata Hospital in Yazd. That's how the link came with my mother, because my uncle, who had done his agricultural degree in India, Pune, went to Iran to introduce modern methods of cultivation, and he fell sick, and my father said to him, "Come and stay with me, I've got this house, you can come. I'll look and treat you and look after you." So he said, when you come to India, you must come and stay with me when you come for your holidays, you know. And then my father came for the holiday. After 2 years, he would get 3 or 4 months, he would come. And my grandfather said, no, he cannot come and stay in the house. Yes, I can put him up in the best hotel, but I have an unmarried daughter, so he cannot stay in my house. Then my uncle pleaded with him, and he gave in. And my father saw my mother, and that is how the two got together. And my grandfather at first said, no, you're Parsi. And we follow a different calendar, and you know this. But then the old man realized, and my parents said to him, my son will never marry, because he said, I was only going to marry her. So they got married, and they went to Iran. After marriage, she came to Iran, and that's where my elder brother Cyrus was born. He was a doctor too, and he was famous. He was associate professor at Johns Hopkins Hospital in Washington, and he was head of anesthesiology, but he died at 62. This is my son Jamshed. He was named Jamshed because my uncle, my mother's brother Jamshed, died just a little time before he was born. He was born in what is now Bangladesh in Dhaka, when I was with Leavers. This is my second son, Zal. And according to the Shahnameh, he's also my son, okay, because, and he was also born in what is Bangladesh now, but in Chittagong. And this is my third son, Xerxes, who was born in Karachi. And as I said, I did not have a sister, and I did not have a daughter. And I always hoped that one of my children would be a daughter, just like my mother hoped that one of her sons would be a daughter, you know, but we had no daughters in the family. But my first grandchild was a daughter, so that broke the ice. I am very happy that our youth, and we have to say that our community organizations have religion classes, okay, here, where the youth are explained about the religion, and it's a great religion, okay. And also to consider how their forefathers were well established in India, but even in Iran, when the Shah's father was there was Arbab Shah Rukh, who my father would say had the keys of the Majlis given to him by the Shah, and who brought back our Iranian calendar to Iran, you know. So we have to know about our heritage, and the other thing we must do is follow the good heritage that our older people have left with us, those who have passed away and those who are living, so that we create something in Canada and North America. And in England, you know, the first 3 members of parliament were Zoroastrians. And now we even have a lord, you know, as a member of the House of Lords. And we have a very good reputation. And to maintain that, and to be honest, to be truthful, to be educated properly, and to be hardworking. That is something that our forefathers did, and that is why we benefited from that.
Well, we're enjoying the show, but we'll take this opportunity before the second segment starts, and we have a couple of people who would like to come in, who told us in advance that they wanted to come and say some good words. Jalu Auntie and Khurshid Auntie, both of you, please. I can bring the mic there, actually, for Jalu Auntie. Yeah, that's fine.
Good evening, everyone. It's wonderful to see all of you after a very, very long time. And I'll just go back in history. I don't know, Sam, if you remember when we met first. I knew his parents before I knew him. And we had this first public function, entertainment from children, and it was almost getting over, and this tall man came back from where he had almost was going away and came back and said, thank you very much, Miss Cooper. And I was shocked. I said, what is your name, please? He said, Sam Vesuna. So I said, oh, doctors. I didn't even complete the sentence. I connected him with Doctor and Dr. Minoche Vesuna and Daulat Auntie, that he was their son. And it was great to meet him. Thereafter, through all the virtues which have been already expressed, I won't repeat them, but they will always be remembered by everyone in the community. And we both were involved in the community affairs in different ways, and he has been everyone's favorite president. So, yes, he has. Nobody can deny that. If they do, it's their problem. So I would just say, Sam, thank you very much for everything, always. I especially thank you because when you became the president, he had stood for presidentship, and it was a foregone conclusion that he would be the winner. So I just went to him and I said, Sam, before the actual election, I said, Sam, it's a foregone conclusion that you will be the president. So congratulations. And he said thank you. And then afterwards, a little while later, I told him, if my services are needed, I will be available. So he said, it's a foregone conclusion that you'll be there. And thus, finally, when he did become the president, he gave me the task, which I enjoyed for many years, of chairing that committee, the Religious Education Committee. And it has been a wonderful experience, and everything enjoyable, pleasant. And of course, there were, bits and pieces which you rather forget, but mostly everything, all connection with him has been good. And thank you, Sam, for your services and for your goodness. And may God bless you and yours. Thank you very much.
So I didn't know I would be allowed to talk, so I had to write little dribbles over here. But I know Sam the longest than any of you. I do, other than his children. I was only 15 when I met Sam. He was working with my uncle, and he used to often come over to our house with things, and the three boys, and they were creating havoc. I remember. But this is how long I know Sam. Anyway, our association happened again in Toronto in 1975 when we were involved with religious programs. He would pick me up. I lived at Markham and Shepherd, and he lived in Unionville. But he would graciously give me a ride. And things that come to mind when you think of Sam: kind, caring, helpful, strong, charitable, and he was a mentor to many. Sam has dedicated his life to the community, if I may say so, and is second to none. His priceless contribution has been unmatched by anyone. And Anaita is not the only family he helped. I know that when people came and they didn't have anybody here, he would go and pick them up from the airport, and he would arrange for accommodation and everything. So he is not just a Canadian figure, he's a world figure, honest to God. Everybody knew him. We had our moments, but I'm very proud of you, Sam, and for all the help you have given to the community, which I hope somebody can do the same, but right now you're the only one. And all the, all have tremendously benefited by his help in every way. I wish you good health and many years of happiness and Aura Mazda's blessings always.
I went back from Karachi, I went back to England and I did my professional chartered accountants thing. And there, for the first time, got involved with my community. Before that, I was religious, but I was involved with the community, but I didn't know anything about my religion, except to recite my Kushti prayers. But in England, I learned that, when you were invited out, you had to say something about your religion. And there was a very good president that time, Mr. Jahangir Moose, who took me in under his arm, and I started off as secretary and then treasurer. And I followed him, and I learned a lot about our religion and also the lectures there. And we were young people, and the older people were always fighting with one another. They were mostly doctors and businessmen, rich people. So the young people got together and they said we should have one guy on the executive committee. And they decided to elect me. The one who played the great part is Miss Jinwala, who became the Speaker of South Africa, She was a very strong-willed person, and she said, Sam, you stand, we'll gather goats, and I got elected. That's how I got involved in the community. And I must say that was a good thing. Then I qualified, I came back, I joined Unilever or Lever Brothers They were looking for management accountants in India, Pakistan, Burma, Ceylon. Because I had a Pakistan passport, I was appointed somewhere in a place between Karachi and Lahore, which was called Rahim Yar Khan. That's where their big factories and things were. And there was only one Parsi in that place, and when I went, it increased by 100%. There were two. There was a conflict going on between West Pakistan and East Pakistanis, the Bengalis and the Punjabis and the Pathans. They didn't know who was Parsis. We were only 4 families in Chittagong, Parsi families, and one in Dhaka. They used to call us Bombay Wala or business people. They mixed us up with the Memons, the Ismailis, and were business people who also spoke Gujarati, you know. So then Phillips was looking for somebody, and they decided, so they came to East Pakistan and told the auditor that we're having problems with you. You're always late in submitting the audited statement. He says, you know, I can't get qualified people. He said, there's one Parsi guy who's negotiating with me for 6 months, he says, you know, and then he wants a job, a partnership in Karachi, in Vesuna. He didn't say anything. He went back to his office in Karachi. There were some Parsis working in Phillips, and he said, I want to know the name of the Parsi chartered accountant in Chittagong. And of course, with 4 or 5, they knew. So I want to impress this story because they had such a high opinion of Zoroastrians. The decision to take me was because I was a Parsi. I could be trusted. I could be trusted to speak the truth. I trusted with financial matters, etc. And that, you know, I am well educated and open-minded in other respects. You know, as a child, I was Parsi or Zartusti. I thought I was unique. We were unique, top of the thing. It's wrong to think that we were better than anyone else, okay? Without knowing any reason why, okay? Just we were there, okay? My advice to the community is, it's a good feeling, but find out why you are respected as a community. Those that know us from Iran, India, Pakistan, East Africa, they know that we are good people. And we would like that reputation of being good people and charitable people and honest people. That is our heritage that we have got from our older people, and which I feel that is my greatest pride. Okay. That I am a Zoroastrian. If you look at our religion, we start with wisdom. We have called our creator Haura Mazda as wisdom. And then we have our Mesha Spentas, which are the qualities, and we say good thoughts, good words, good deeds. Okay. But even the Amesha Spentas, we start with Vaho Mano, which is the good mind. And then Ashavarista, which is the path of righteousness or truth. Okay. And with the divine strength of the Creator, Shatravaryo. And now we come to the 3 feminine Amesha Spentas. Almighty, it is through devotion that we exercise these good things. And through devotion and good thoughts, good words, good deeds, we reach perfection, which is Havartat. And once we have achieved Havartat, we have Amartat, which is immortality. Zarathustra did not do any miracles. Okay, it was pure wisdom. And we should open his his religion to others as well, if they want to come in. Okay. We are not a marketing or commercial company that we need the biggest market share. That's not the thing. We should allow this beautiful religion, if somebody wants to believe in it and come into it, we should not stop them. Okay.
In ZSO's 52-year history, we have seen many presidents come and go. Sam has led us 25% of those years as president. No other president in the history of ZSO has dedicated their time, their energy, and their hard work towards us as a community. And Sam has been one of the very few presidents that has given youth the full autonomy to do whatever they wanted to do. I have been working with Sam for many years in his younger days and in my younger days. And one of the first times that I actually interacted with him was for the 1999 North American Youth Congress, where I approached him and asked him if he could subsidize the Congress fee for about 30 of us that wanted to attend the Montreal Congress. And to keep expenses low, I did tell him, we're gonna carpool, we'll take 5, 6 cars with a bunch of youth down there, but if you can really help us out with the Congress fees, it would be great. And sure enough, he went to the executive and got us a subsidy for all of us, shared amongst all of the youth. And that's what started my first interaction with Sam. After that, Sam went to the Vesuna AGM and bid for the Zoroastrian Congress to come to Toronto. And I had the pleasure of being there at the meeting. And after attending that meeting, I let him know that I would like to be the chair of that conference. I was really young at the time, and I don't think he had confidence in my abilities. So he decided to give me an older co-chair, 10 years older to me, as co-chair for the Congress, which I agreed to. And we went ahead and started planning for the Congress. And then, as you all know, he is a financial genius. But at the same time, when it comes to spending ZSO's money, he is very, very careful, questions every single expense. And at that time, I had to take a contract for him to sign, which was, I think, a $100,000 commitment from the Toronto Congress Center. And so I prepared myself. I knew he was going to ask me like a million questions before he even signed the document. And that meeting went pretty good. I was pretty confident I could answer all of his questions. And our youth group was pretty financially responsible. So we had planned our break-even point for 350 registrants, so we'll keep it safe. And we ended up having the largest North American Zoroastrian Congress at 500 attendees. So it's very successful. I've had the pleasure of working with Sam on the board and through the congresses. He's always been a very good role model, a good leader. I learned a lot from him working on the executive, and I noticed that he was always here. He always spent many hours at the Darby Mayor. He was usually upstairs in the office doing work, all of the back office work. He would take on the work of the treasurer, the secretary. He was everything to ZSO. And even when we had events here, he was always there to socialize and talk to our membership. So for those of you who do have glasses, please raise a glass and toast to Sam for all of his leadership and his dedication towards all of us Zoroastrians. Thank you, Sam. Thank you.
Hello. Good evening, everyone. My name is Masha Amroliwala. To start with, I'd like to congratulate Mitra, Anaita, and the entire board of directors of the ZSO for putting this evening together. Why the previous president and his board never did that is well beyond me. I have no idea why they didn't do that. A very hearty congratulations to you, Sam. This is truly well deserved. There are anecdotes and stories galore and abound that we'll hear throughout this evening and beyond. The one thing, though, that I'd like to focus on is a quality of yours, Sam. And everything boils down to this, from what I've heard, and I know about you, and I've interacted with you so far. It is something that everyone can give, but not everyone does, and it is generosity. You are one of the most generous individuals I know, and I recognize generosity because of my upbringing with my parents. Generosity isn't something that you give away with funds or donations or simply finances, which you do as well, and which people do as well, and that's appreciated. But you give off generosity of your ideas. You give off generosity of sharing your resources, whatever they may be. And you give off generosity of your time. Anyone who has called Sam with a question knows that he's very generous with his time. And he makes sure you set aside the same amount of time to make sure you hear every one of his ideas. Sam, I say with all fondness and with all respect in my heart, may you live to be 100 and more healthy years, and may we have more Sams with equal generosity for our community to flourish. And I know we will. Congratulations and all the best.
The original few people from our community were students who came for education here, university education. And then they were a small group, very friendly. When they heard somebody is coming, they would go in their car to the airport and bring him and look after him. And we had no place, okay. We used to meet in restaurants and church basements and, things like that. The Parsis had come from Iran to India, okay, and they were in India and Pakistan. But there were also Parsis which the British encouraged to go to East Africa because they thought they were good administrators and honest people and hardworking and trustworthy, okay. So when these countries got independence, there was some concern that we would not be treated as well, especially in Pakistan, especially, and that is when I decided to leave, when it became the Islamic Republic. And I became automatically a second-class citizen. So I thought that it is good for my children who were small. My third son was born in Karachi, that for their future, that it is good that and Phillips, after some persuasion, gave me a job in Toronto, Canada. And that's how I came here. When I came, as I said, we were a few hundred by that time. And then we decided that we should have a place of our own. So we set up a committee, and Mr. Kawas Nanavati was the chairman. I think Bommy Boyce was the treasurer or secretary, to collect money to have a place of our own, a place of worship. And our scheme was 200,000 we would collect from the community in donations, 200 would be a matching grant from Ontario, and 200 we would borrow. And while we were doing this, we were all newcomers, we had bought houses, we didn't have much money to donate, okay. And then Arbab, because he was a wise man, he saw what was happening there towards the end days of the Shah, and he moved all his money out. And when he was visited London, Dr. Kuttar said to him, the people in Toronto, there's a large community there, they're looking for a place, of their own. Anyway, his friend was Dr. Sarfe, who was a medical doctor in New York. So when he came to North America, he stayed with him. So the first temple or place of worship he gave was in New York. Bought a house and gave it to the New York. Then he came to Toronto, and he met with us. And we told him we have this scheme of 600, 200, donation 200, Vintario and 200, borrowing. He said, no, I'll give you the full 600. We didn't realize he meant 600,000 US dollars. Anyway, we were delighted. And then he says, we will find. And he appointed, there was an organization called Mehraban Give Darbe Meher, Zoroastrian temple, you know. And Mr. Shroff, the president of ZSO, and a few others were in the executive. But the main person was Keke Shroff, okay. He had a neighbor who was a builder, and he wanted to build where our present temple was, but he had a problem because the people didn't want that thing to be torn down, okay. He got some permission for 3 plots or something. Anyway, he decided the best thing was to sell it. And Mr. Shroff knew about it, and he decided that yes, we would buy it. And they put an offer to purchase. We checked that you could build it, you could have a temple in that place. And they just put an offer to purchase. There was, unfortunately, a lot of uproar in the community. Because Arbab had said, select a property and get it approved by the community. It was not approved by the community. It was a good property. Arbab liked it, but he said this was wrong. So he let the other organization die, and he created the Rustam Give Foundation, Ontario Limited. And Kawas Nanavati was the president, Lucy was vice president, secretary and vice president, and I was treasurer. We three formed the thing. And once, because it could only be formed by Canadians, and it was a not-for-profit, not a charitable organization, and once it was formed, then Arbab became the chairman, and Sarfe joined him. So that was the Rustam Give Foundation. And then Arbab, in the meantime, as soon as the city knew, it was the city of North York at that time, they mixed us up with, I don't know, Rastafarian, or the people were worried, and they went and passed a bylaw in the city of North York that you could not have anything except a single dwelling house within 1 square mile of our temple. The builder could not proceed with the purchase because now we couldn't build the temple. Okay. So he went to the Superior Court of Ontario and fought. And the Superior Court of Ontario decided that this was discriminative legislation and was wrong and knocked it off. And then Mayor Lastman was met by Arbab, who went to see him. And I still remember Mayor Lastman telling me, Arbab came with a bag of pistachios and a bouquet of flowers into his office. And he realized who we were. By that time, the Jewish community there also realized what we had done and liberated them from Babylon, King Cyrus. Okay. So the thing was, they never appealed the verdict of the Superior Court of Ontario that law was discriminatory. That law is quoted in the universities, law universities, as an example of discriminatory legislation. Okay. Then we had to face the other hurdle, to get the community to accept. Because the people in the West said, they wanted, and we were fair. There was a place in Kothra, Kothra, and we went for that. We even paid the deposit. But they said, no, you cannot have a temple here. Okay. So this was put to vote. In between that, people started sending anonymous letters and phone calls to Arbab saying that don't give them this property, they will sell it or they will make it a senior's home. And Arbab got worried. At that time, Mr. Treasurywala was the founder president of ZSO, came back and got elected, and I also became the treasurer of Zoroastrian Society of Ontario. And this was, I think, 78 or 79, okay. And then we put this to, and we came up with a suggestion to Arbab that, look, I know you're worried and you got all these anonymous letters and, because you want to give us a place where we can meet and worship, not a senior's home and not the things. So I came up with a proposal and I talked with Mr. Treasurywala that why don't we go for a 999-year lease. In my work, I had come across one lease that was so long, and today one of the leases is your Port Trust in Toronto. It's 999 lease from the federal government. So, and we make it nominal 1 cent a year. Mr. Treasurywala allowed it. We went to Arbab. He liked it. And then we went to a general meeting. And by a majority of only 56%, it was approved. To bring back the community, I said to Mr. Treasurywala and I said to the people in the West, Mr. Sawak Martin, who was the auditor of ZSO, who resigned because of the community was not consulted before the offer to purchase. So we said, you appoint a legal firm which will draw the lease so that you feel comfortable. This is a gift. Only thing is the title is not there. But every other way, you have full use of the place. And the only few conditions that Arbab put in the lease was no gambling, no politics, and that Zoroastrians and their spouses have the right to attend and come to the Darbar. Because there was this problem, that in India, nobody except Zoroastrians can go into a temple. Okay. Mr. Treasurywala was representing ZSO, Kawas Nanavati was representing RGFO, or Rustamgi Foundation, and I was in between because I was in Rustamgi Foundation and also ZSO as treasurer. There was one point that became a sticky point. And they said that what if we decide to move from this place? So we should be allowed to move, sell this place and go to another place which is better, or maybe the community or this place may not be good enough for us, and that we have the right as leaseholders to do that. The RGFO said, no, I don't think we can give you that freedom. Okay. That it would be RGFO, the owners, who would decide that. Okay. And I was sitting in the middle because I was on both sides. And then I said to them, okay, let's come to a compromise and put it that we will be allowed to do it, and Rustamgi Foundation will not unreasonably withhold permission. And they liked it, and that got through.
Now it's time for the man himself, man of the hour, whose show is here for today, Sam Uncle. We would request you to come in and say a few words for us.
Thank you, everyone. Please be seated. Let me tell you, I am humbled by this event and happy and extremely grateful to the community. You know, in our history, we have, especially, I don't know much about the Iranian history before the Arabic invasion and Islamization, but in India, we are known for, in a very high degree of sense. India has today a population exceeding, I think, 1.5 billion or 1.25 billion people. We only number 75,000 in India. But look at the respect. They want to control population growth. But the Indian government has created a situation where they want to help the Parsis to increase. Can you believe that? Why did they do it? Because they considered a good community. When we came to Iran, from Iran to India, there were conditions put on us. And we observed those conditions. Some of them we should change. But they saw, and then the British took over, and they saw us. All the foreign banks, the English banks in the big cities like Karachi, Bombay, etc., the chief cashier was always a Zoroastrian. Why? Because our forefathers set the example. And we have to be extremely grateful to them. We are not known in this part of the world. That is why they said, you know, these interfaith organizations, you know, all they're talking about is conversion to the... And I said, no, we have to be part of it because nobody knows, like Zoroastrian and Rastafarian, you know. And we decided to be on the boards of the Canadian Multi-Federation. I was on the executive committee, the treasurer, until 2019. And the Toronto Area Interfaith Council, I've been on their executive for I don't know how many years. I'm their treasurer. And we are represented in Mosaic, which is not even a registered not-for-profit organization. But they recognize us. And the two chair people are from the Jewish faith and from the Muslim faith. So it is important that we set the same example that we did in India and Pakistan, so that people in North America will know who Zoroastrians are and how they can be trusted. I can give you one example. There's Mr. Naushir Parak. He migrated, and there was something he had to go to Ottawa to get his papers for residential. And the guy there said to him, he says he was delayed for the meeting, and he says, okay, Mr. Naushir Parak, he says, these are my documents. He says, I don't need to see your documents. Parsis are trusted. Go back and you'll miss your bus to go to Toronto. So even in that small way, we are not here. And what we have done in North America is good. We founded the Fazana organization, and I'm a founder member. And we brought in new regulations. In India, if the woman is not Zoroastrian and the man is not, the children cannot become Zoroastrians. We went one step further. We accepted the adopted children of a Zoroastrian father, a non-Zoroastrian mother, and did their nawjud. Okay. So we have to use wisdom. Our prophet gave the Creator's name Aura Mazda. Aura is omnipotent, and Mazda is wisdom. Wisdom is something very important. And if you take the very, not the literal translation, but the broader translation of the Atharvaveda prayer, it says that just like Aura Mazda created the universe out of wisdom, so does your prophet Zarathustra come and give you his message out of wisdom. So we have to be wise, and then we have the good thoughts, and you know, the Vahumana and Shah. So we have to work hard, we have to show honesty, and we have to be good citizens. And the most important part is we have to help those in need. And when we did the homeless people, we were asked by the city of Toronto, various churches, and said, we can't manage this, so many homeless people. So Mosaic said, okay, we will help you out. And we took 3 months, I think, from December to March, that we said we will have our places of worship open for homeless. For some reason, we could not have it here because we are a very small building, etc. So the Muslims gave us one of their places. So we had divided the 3 months between the Jewish, the Islamic, and the Zoroastrians. And we provided them food, we provided them shelter, and we brought gifts to them, tokens for them to travel. Okay. That didn't finish. And so the next thing we did was, there was a temple in St. Clair, church in St. Clair. They could not manage with the food or the finances. So we started with 1 day over there, and our members, ladies, cooked the food, we took it there, we fed them. The most important thing we did, we sat with them while we were eating. And we called them our guests. The church asked us, can you make 1 extra day? So from 1 day a week, we went to 2 days a week. And that is something that is very important, both in our message from Zarathustra and our natural feeling. And though we only survived after Iran was conquered and became Islamic in India, there were other groups which went to other places. They were lost. There are pockets today. Years ago, the president of Tajikistan said to UNESCO, we have to celebrate the 2000th anniversary of Zoroastrian heritage. And it was accepted. You talk 2000 BC, that way 3000. Okay, but that is changing because previously Zarathustra's time was between 1500 to 1750 BC. That is now changed to 1000 to 1500. So these scholars keep changing. So it's not the thing, but he was the president of Tajikistan who introduced it. And we celebrated it all over the world. We celebrated it in Markham Theatre and then at the Royal Ontario Museum. And you see these gifts, these artifacts. This is from the Royal Ontario Museum. And what had happened was that there was a fear that the Islamic Republic, I think Khomeini, did not want to recognize the pre-Islamic history of Iran. So they were going to bulldoze Persepolis or Takht-e-Jamshid. And the villagers stood there and said, this is our heritage, and stopped them from doing it. But people were concerned. So Iranians and the Metropolitan Museum of New York went and took castings of all these hundreds and thousands of Persepolis or Takht-i-Jamshid. And they gave us 4 of them. So we have a history which is good. But we also have one thing, and we have lost our empire, our country, because we have this habit of arguing and fighting with one another. That part, and it is a joke, but he says, when there are 2 Parsis, they will argue. When there is one, he will look in the mirror, argue. Okay? We have to get rid of that opinion of us. And the other part is this Irani Parsi. I grew up. When I was in Pune, yes, I was Irani. When I went to Bombay, I was Parsi. My brother and I became diplomats at a very young age. So we are one people. We are so small. There are only slight difference in the prayers. The only big difference is our calendar. And the Iranian calendar is correct because in the old days, to make up for that quarter day, because it takes 365 and a quarter day for the circulation of the earth around the sun, we used to add 1 month after 120 years. Then that improved. And then they did it after every 4 years, they added 1 day. The Parsis in India, when they went to Iran, they said, you are out of sync, because they had not corrected that 1 month. So another calendar called the Qadmi calendar was formed. But they forgot also to add that quarter day or after 4 years or 120 years. And so that is the thing. We are a small community and we are diminishing. Because it is important to understand why that's happening. We are so scattered that it is very difficult for our young people to find a mate in the community. There are places, like I gave in Pakistan, there was one Zoroastrian and I went there, 100% increase, it became 2. Okay? When I got married, it became 150%. So what I'm trying to say, we are few, and I congratulate the President Executive to make the religion classes together. Otherwise, we used to have Iranian religious classes separate from the Parsi classes. That is a start. And I don't know in my lifetime it will ever happen that the Parsis will accept that the Iranian calendar is correct. In Muslim Iran, our calendar is brought. I said, my father told me Arbab Shahrukh brought it. The Iranians were a little concerned because the lunar calendar changed and they didn't know when to fertilize their fields and things like that. So it was brought back. There is a slight difference. They have the first 6 months of 30 days except February, and the next 6 months of 31 days. Okay? There's a slight difference. Okay, right. So these are small things. But for a small community, if we can get together, and there is one little thing that I say, and you know, most people think I'm Parsi because my name is Sam Vesuna. Okay? And I would like to tell you that I always insist on saying Sam, not Sam. And that is important, that we do get together as a community and survive, because it is a question of survival. Thank you. Now, I just want to name, I want to name these speakers who were there, and I may have missed some, so please excuse me if I have. Aflatun, thank you very much for being the master of ceremonies. I remember your mother and your sister coming to here, and we arranged for you to come over and helped you all, along with other Iranians at that time. The government of Canada gave us permission, both to Zoroastrian Society of Ontario and British Columbia, to allow us to bring in Iranians to Canada. In the United States, it was also the same, but they had to execute a bond. We were trusted by the Canadian government. We did not have to even submit a bond. Okay. And Anita, yes, with 1999, I was at the Congress, and I stayed at your place. And when they came to Canada, I was the host. And we made sure we had all people with vans to go to the airport. They came with 20 bags. Okay. Then there is, I don't know, okay, I've got Jalu, who was our teacher and chair of the education committee. And that is very important, because I didn't know anything about my religion. All I knew was that we were the best, and I knew how to say my Kasti prayers. When I went to England, as I said, it was Mr. Jangur Moose who took me under his wing, and he used to go and speak at Theosophical and other various places that would invite students, and that's how I got interested in my religion. And first time I did service in the community as secretary and treasurer of the at that time it was called the Parsi Trust Funds of Europe, Parsi Association of Europe. Now it's called the Zoroastrian Trust Funds of Europe. Okay. So that is very good thing we are doing here. I talked to you about acceptance of children and navjots. And I say to you, we are on the right path. But all of you must support it. And, you know, there is nothing wrong in discussing, arguing, but not to hurt one another. That is important. Thank you. Of course, I want to thank Mitra, her father-in-law, Jamshid, did a tremendous amount of service to this community. Jamshid had a little bag with the membership names. And the first thing he met you, he says, "Oh, have you paid your fees?" Now, okay. Behram does that, okay. So what I'm saying is, this person was fantastic. His father died when he was a child, a young person. He was the eldest son in the family. He worked hard and educated all his younger brothers. That is sacrifice, but also a good Zoroastrian thing. Okay. So there are many of you who give to the community, and please continue to do that. And I hope that our community flourishes. Thank you. Oh yeah, there's Khurshid, she's from Karachi, and She can be very aggressive as well, you know. And but she has been with our religion classes for the long time that I've known, and she served many under Jalu and Darius Barucha and the present one, okay, along with Freddie Mirza. I must take my hat off to these people because they spend a lot of time for the children. Okay, that's it.
Thank you, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed the evening so far. I'm going to start inviting everyone. There's appetizers in the main hall. There's some wine, some drinks. Please help yourselves. And if you have a story to share, you know where to find Sam to share your stories with. I've got one more thing coming from Anahita, but I'm hoping you all had a great time as I have. Thank you for joining us.
So actually, Mernaz had a great suggestion. Since we all are here, and we have Sam Uncle here with us, is everyone game for a group photo? Before we go to eat, let's take a group photo, and then we go eat. Huh? Organize it first. His family? Okay, first let's do all the family together, and then everyone else just come. The family can go on the stage, and everyone else can come in the front, and we take the picture. Sorry, correction. We're going to do small group photos with Sam. So we make sure this way everyone is captured versus one big group photo, because all will be very, very tiny. Yes. And please, you guys can start the refreshments. Enjoy yourselves.